OMG, okay. Hi guys, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Just a quick hooray for our GMAT Club team. We reached 100K subs. That's amazing. Awesome job, team. And yeah, like just to celebrate this 100K milestone, we are gonna be solving tons of questions in this, I think, 4 to 6 hour live session. And we're going to have so many familiar faces from the MBA and GMAT world joining today. So it's so awesome to have Maria here already with us. And Shovik, do you have to introduce yourself to our audience, or it's already a given?
I could. I feel like my videos are old now. So, hey everyone, I'm Shovik. I started doing stuff with GMAT Club about 10 years ago, which feels super, super long. It's been a while. I went to business school, graduated business school. Now I'm in Seattle. I work for tech. Cannot wait to leave Seattle. But yeah, we did a bunch of things on the YouTube channel way back in the day. I never thought we'd ever reach 100K, but I am really glad that it happened. And Maria, Maria is my friend, but also she has probably been on this YouTube channel a lot more than me. But Maria, still introduce yourself. Who are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Maria Wickvila, HBS grad and founder of ApplicantLab.com, the DIY platform for admissions consulting advice. Proud and excited to be here to celebrate this milestone. It's 9 a.m. for me. Otherwise, I'd be drinking champagne. But it's 9, so I'm having a nice coffee instead. But I did not realize, I just was like, yeah, I'll show up to support the channel. Why not? I love these guys. I did not realize that GMAT questions were going to be part of it. So I am very much looking forward to being embarrassed because I took the GMAT
Same
in
here.
2002. Yeah, 21 years ago was my GMAT. So it's been a
21.
while.
So I think I have taken the GMAT like 8 times in the last 10 years.
Wow.
I think a couple times was just for myself, and then I just kept on taking it as GMAT kind of, made improvements. But I'm going to take it again sometime in December.
The new one?
Yeah, the GMAT focus. I just want to know, they're kind of getting rid of my favorite section on the GMAT, which is sentence correction. I love that section, but it's just such a weird decision. But anyway, so yes, Maria, we are going to. As Selby mentioned, we will have a lot of people coming in and out of the live stream, right? The one consistent thing that we will do is make them solve at least one GMAT question, right? But if you stay on for longer, you're going to solve more GMAT questions, right? So just for everybody, Selby is petrified of solving GMAT questions. So
Petrified.
I'm going to try to find fresh questions. But Selby, before we jump into some GMAT stuff, can you tell me all the giveaways that we are doing?
Well, okay, so for those of y'all who still don't know, we were doing a giveaway specifically in our YouTube community. So if you do check out our YouTube community, you will see an image that I posted there with all the details for the giveaway. So go and check that out. But other than that, we are going to be giving out GMAT Club Tests for free for the next 100 hours. So on behalf of our 100K subs. So we're very excited. The giveaway winners will be disclosed, I think, in another 3 days. So you guys have to wait for that. Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm going to get to my first question, but we have a guest already. Evan is here, so I'm going to add him to the stage. What up, Evan? How's it going?
He looks so confused.
I'm not. You can't hear me, you stupid idiots. You stupid fucking.
Yes, we can all hear you.
He just laughed.
What was that?
What happened?
That's how I felt when I took the GMAT. So I'm
going to try to add him again and see what happens. Hey, Evan, welcome back. Can you still hear us? You're setting up your mic. Okay, I'm going to remove you. Give me a heads up when you have set up your mic. Sounds good.
This is the first time I saw him in a suit. Interesting.
Yeah, Evan's in business school right now, and you kind of have to do these things. But I also think Evan is just a lot flashier than us. So maybe that's So okay, I'm gonna go to like one GMAT question, and then Evan can figure out his audio setup, right? All right. So Selby, I wanted to make sure that you haven't seen this question before, but it is an easy one. I think. I don't know. Maria, are you ready?
Yes.
Being to regret
Same
coming to
feeling.
this live stream. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the timer, right? So we're gonna try to solve the question in our head. There's no scratch pad or anything, but there's a bunch of people watching. So I would recommend everybody also solving the question. So I'm gonna start the timer now. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna read the question for the first time as well.
Shobik, can you zoom in a little to
Yeah,
the
totally.
question?
Yes, I can do that.
Awesome. Okay.
All right, I'm going to read the question out loud. A train travels from city A to city B. The average speed of the train is 60 miles per hour, and it travels the first quarter of the trip at a speed of 90 miles per hour. What is the speed of the train in the remaining trip? Very interesting. All right, I'm gonna do some like math in my head instead of speaking out loud, and then maybe at the 2 minute mark, I will hit you up, Selby, Maria.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, I'm gonna really embarrass myself in this live session. Okay. Okay.
Selby, are you done already?
I think so. I mean, gosh.
You're done too? All right, cool. Let's go. 1:55. I'll pause the timer here. People who are watching, if you have an answer already, post it on the chat. All right, Selby, what's your answer?
Is it A?
8:30.
Yeah.
Maria, what is your answer?
I got the same thing.
All right, let's go. You guys are both wrong.
What?
We're both wrong.
Yes.
Why?
Okay, cool.
How?
So I kind of eliminated a few. I wasn't really doing it in my head. So I kind of realized that it can't be 90, right? Like it just cannot be 90 because, well, the average is 60. I also think it cannot be 30. It can't be 30 because
It's too
like,
low, right?
it's too low because if it's 90 and 30, the average of 90 and 30 is 60, right? So it needs to go at least half for 90 and half for 30 for the average to be 60. So it kind of spends a bunch of time, spends less time in 60 and more time in 90. So it's definitely between 60 and 90, like, like closer to 60 than 90 itself. So
But
I
even 72 is too high.
yeah, I came up with either one of these, and then at that point, I would just guess. I mean, if I had a scratch pad, I would do the math. But Selby, tell us, how did you come up with 30? What's up?
No, I don't want it anymore. I like the logic you are going with. Like, sure, it's that. No, I mean, so I don't know like how I still don't understand your explanation, Shovik, but I thought like okay, if it's like first quarter, then like in 4 quarters there's like you know what, like I'll just shut up for the first question. I don't want to explain my reasoning because I feel like but why? How is it not 30?
How's it not 30? Okay, so like, if the train was trapped, so the average of 30 and 90 is 60, right? 60 is halfway between 30 and 90, right? So if the train traveled for some distance at like 90 miles per hour, it has to travel the same distance at 30 miles per hour for the average to be 60. Does that compute?
Okay.
Right. So, but it didn't. It spent way less time at 90 than the other slower speed, right? So, if it spent way less time at 90, then the new speed, which is less than 60, because well, it's the average of 90 and that number is 60. So it has to be less than 60, but it needs to be closer than 60, closer to 60, right? So these two will never be good enough. So it's somewhere here. 30 we eliminated. So it's either 45 or 54. So I would guess one of them and move on.
So, but why not 45? There should be a reason.
No, there's absolutely a reason. If I had a scratch pad, I would try to like actually math it out. Like the way you would math it out is like, you can use a variable, like let the total distance be like X or something like that. You can be a little bit smarter and like plug in a number. Like the easier numbers is like, there are multiples of 6 and 9. So you can assume that the total journey is like 150 miles, and then the quarter is at 90, and 3/4 is at this other speed. So those are some of the ways you would do it. But I hate this question too, because if you're trying to plug in numbers, you're trying to get like a multiple of 60 and 90. So you would take something like a 900 or something like that. But you also have to split that in quarters, right? So the quarter of 900 is like 225, which is also such an ugly number. So I was getting annoyed at the ugliness of the numbers. All right, Pooja is asking, is it an official question? Is it? I don't know.
The source is other. So
Yeah, I don't think it's an official question. It could be, but just like having taken the GMAT more times than most people, the GMAT will ask questions like this all the time. This is a fairly representative time and distance question. All right, let's take a little bit of a break between GMAT. Evan is still not back, but Maria, I'm curious. Tell us one success story from your clients in Applicant Lab that you're really proud of for this season.
You're really putting me on the spot. So first of all, I misread the question. I thought I was like, oh, the first half was at 90, and so the second half, I was like, okay, so 30. So like I spent about a millisecond on it, and I'm like, oh, 30, 90 divides 120 divides 60, done. And then I stopped, and then my attention, my ADD took me in a different direction, and I wasn't paying attention. And then I was like, and then you started explaining it. I'm like, wait, C? And then you're like, yeah, because I'm like, oh. So my reading comprehension is bad, which is why I'm glad I never have to do another reading comprehension thing. Success stories with Applicant Lab. Well, I'm talking to one of my most famous and outspoken, and you are one of my most famous ones. No, I have a lot of success stories with Applicant Lab. I have been doing admissions consulting now for 20 years. I started doing it not as a job, but as a volunteer in the fall of 2003 when I was a student. And I just started helping people as on a volunteer basis. And then when I decided to try to make this my living and my profession, I did not want to set up a typical thing where I had to charge people $500 an hour and $10,000 packages and things like that. So I had been working in product management for a startup prior to launching Applicant Lab, and I thought, well, why don't I combine the things I know about how to build a product and the things I know about admissions, and that's how Applicant Lab was born. So it levels the playing field. If people, it's for people who are very self-motivated, right? Like, I'm not going to be calling you and checking up on you and saying, have you done the modules yet? Have you did you watch my video yet? So, but for the right type of person, for people who are really self-motivated, I tether my pricing to what the average is for 1 hour of what admissions consultants of my caliber charge, which I should probably raise my prices actually, because it's gone up since I launched the product a few years ago. Now other people at my level, like with 20 years of experience, HBS grad, I'm on AGAC, which is a sort of a admissions consultants organization for people who are really elite within the industry. People at my level are charging $500+ an hour. But so I've been sort of saying, like, look, for the price of 1 hour of what you could get with someone else like me, you get access to everything about essays, resumes, interviews, everything like that. And so I've had a lot of success stories. I think for people who are who are motivated and who are self-aware, it is a great option. And in fact, it's funny, in the past few weeks, I've had, speaking of success stories, I've actually had lunches / coffees with 3 different Applicant Lab users. Oh no, wait. Yes, no, it was 3. So I was about to say, was it 4? No, it's 3. Who have all been in LA for random, like one was here for a wedding and other.
Maria, you're
Oh, here we go.
breaking up a little
So anyway,
bit.
I've been able to meet up with 3 different people in the past 2 weeks randomly this year. And they were all Applicant Lab users, and they were all in town, and it was a real treat to get to see them in person, because I don't really interact with people a ton through the lab, right? It's more of a one-way. It's a lot of videos of me, and so I don't get to know people. So it was really cool to be like, oh, this is what you look like in real life. Hello.
Yeah.
So that was delightful. It's a great feeling.
All right. No, thanks
Evan,
for
you're
sharing.
back.
Evan, you made it. What's up?
Good. I was gonna creepily smile until someone said hi to me.
I mean, you know.
About that,
immediately noticed
I
you.
didn't set up my laptop.
Yeah. How's Darden? Tell us about Darden.
Darden's rough. I'm not gonna lie. It's a great program, but good Lord, the idea that it's a boot camp, man, that is real. That is no joke. So anyone applying to Darden, do it. It's a great program. You be prepared to work.
So how long
Are
has
you
it been
a
for
first
you?
year? Are you in your first year? Evan?
Yeah.
I just started, so I've been here about 2 months.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
It gets better.
is-
It's first semester
It
is
gets
always.
Yeah. There was a concept at Ross, which is called like the Hell Week, which is typically happens at like after the first month or the first month and a half, because suddenly all of your first assignments are all due at the same time, but also you're starting to like network for internship and things like that. So there's like a full blown Hell Week concept. So Evan, tell us a little bit more about what classes you're taking. Do you have a favorite? Are you even going to classes?
Oh, you would have to.
Well,
I
again,
would think.
usually-
Isn't
Yeah. No, go ahead,
Darden is
Maria.
case-based, right? Hi. So Darden is case-based, which is a really, it's usually cases are very dependent on you have to be in class on time, ready to go.
Yeah, no, you're the only one asking the questions here, Shovik. I mean, you were tired. I was usually the one who was leading these things. So as people have alluded to, Maria, you most importantly, it is case-based. It's 100% case-based. Your attendance is 100% mandatory. You cannot skip class under any circumstances unless you're on your deathbed or there's a very interesting situation with your family or a religious holiday. So I'm attending class every day, and it's a lot. I'm going to a networking event after this, which is why I'm in a suit. It's not because of GMAT Club. It is, it is for Darden. And favorite class, I'll say marketing has been fascinating. You think marketing is just qualitative, like, oh, here are some of the things we see. Let's try and maybe apply them. It's very quant heavy and it's very strategy driven. So I have found that to be amazing. The professor has been incredible. She's actually a Harvard alum, and she knows what she's doing. I mean, she is wonderful. There are some professors who go a little too hard at times, but in general, again, it's a good time. Chuck, I see you, bud. Yes, Joe, pick on me. Go ahead. Beat me up. I'm a punching bag today.
Evan, what are you recruiting
Get
for?
on camera, Charles.
Charles will be here soon enough. I'm recruiting general management, so marketing, strategy, and ops.
Right.
Darden, for anyone who's curious, is a powerhouse when it comes to consulting, and when it comes consulting in particular, they also place very well in banking and finance. But the bread and butter is consulting. I'm not doing that, but good thing is general management and consulting go hand in hand, and it's a really well-rounded program that will hopefully get me there.
So, Evan, I'm sure you have no problems in doing this, but who are you friends with? Who do you hang out with?
Who do I hang out with? I mean, that assumes I'm not just sitting in this room all day, every day by myself. I hang out with an eclectic group. I mean, the class is 350. I probably know 310 of them at this point.
Right.
I like to believe I'm running for class president, so I'm trying to network the best I can.
Of course you are running for class president.
So I am doing my best to spread my influence across all the dimensions. It's funny how many people, Shovik, I don't know if you dealt with this at Michigan. It's been hysterical how many people came up to me my first couple of weeks being like, wait, you're Evan, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, that's what the name tag says. They're like, no. You're from GMAT Club. I'm like, yeah, I am. Surprise. So Shovik, did you deal with any of that?
I did, but it kind of like, it was a little embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's kind of yes, and then let's talk about something else. I did, but I was also like, I'm fairly socially introverted, so like I didn't make a lot of friends in business school. But I mean, I did come up with a few quality connections. Like I would say, like I still talk to maybe 5 or 6 people, and they're strategically placed to help me travel. So it just really good because like I'm trying to go to Korea for the longest time, and I'm chatting with someone from Korea. My main motivation is like having a local friend when I go to Korea. So, but that did help. But I did lean into the international community fairly significantly. Most of my friends ended up being very international. Like there were some Americans that I was friends with, but most of them were because we just had like so much to complain about, and the things that we were complaining about were so similar. Like I remember one of my closest friends was from Ghana, and like how she described growing up and family. You could just replace her entire family to an Indian family, and it just sound the same thing. Like it was just the exact same thing. So we bonded a lot over that.
Gotcha. I was about to say, not to poke fun at Michigan, but like, you went to Michigan.
Yeah.
You telling me you have a lot of work? I don't know if that goes hand in hand with reality.
A lot of work, you mean in school?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I did not. So Maria actually gave me this,
not slanderous.
Maria gave me this advice early on, like, hey, I know that you would try to focus on classes. Just don't focus on classes. Go meet people, go network, because that's kind of what you will have forever and ever. So I followed. I tried. I mean, there are some classes that I really like. Micro econ I loved, but I got zoned out of classes pretty quickly. Wait, Karishma is here, so I'm gonna add Karishma real quick. Karishma is also I think Karishma has been on GMAT Club before I was on GMAT Club, which is ridiculous.
Oh wow!
Hi,
Souvik, how are you? Hi guys, hi Sevi, Evan, Maria. Congratulations, by the way, Souvik. GMAT Club 100K subscribers, quite awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's been pretty phenomenal. We didn't have like a sense of like what the YouTube channel would be about. Like, who would even bother to watch GMAT videos? On the YouTube channel? That's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, here we are.
I can understand. So I don't know if I started my my YouTube channel just 2-3 months ago, and I have exactly 277 subscribers there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no zeros after it. I checked. Only 277. I keep wondering. I mean, who will actually subscribe? But then GMAT Club has got 100K. That's awesome. It seems like such a daunting number, man.
I
feel like we should solve.
There is like a ramp, But Karishma, I'm sure most people know you, but for the people that don't, tell us about yourself a little bit. And by the way, Evan, you have a few fans out there in the comments who are talking about that they missed the GMAT debrief videos. I hope they come back once you take some breathing time out of Darden. But it's very common for people to go to business school and completely disappear from other people's lives. But Karishma, tell us who you are.
Yeah. So, many years ago, I was a tech person, but I just lost interest in it. I think it was a boring job for me. So I got into the Indian MBA CAT, and I worked there for 2 3 years, and then I moved to US. So I took GMAT. Just like that. And in fact, I came across GMAT Club at that time for the first time. And even though I wasn't active at that time, just for like a few weeks. Then after that, I joined Veritas, and that's when Brian was like, why don't you actively participate in GMAT Club and you represent us over there? So then I worked in Veritas for quite a few years, representing it on GMAT Club. And then a few years back, about 3 years back, I started working on my own books and on my own videos and modules. So today, just 2 months ago, I came up with my own complete GMAT prep package. So today I'm, running my website and making my
Congratulations.
videos and running
That's
webinars.
awesome.
Yeah.
So awesome. Look, in a way, Selby, yes, it's awesome. But then, when I was working with Veritas, it was really simple, right? Hey,
Yeah.
this is not working, Brian, fix it. Hey, this is a technical issue. So I would just pass the buck. It was just so easy to do that. Now the buck stops with me, and I have to think about what to do in case this is not working or that is not working. So
Yeah, I
it
mean,
does get really hard, but it's really enjoyable for sure. Very
being an
satisfying.
entrepreneur is tough. Like, I've been pretty close.
Absolutely.
Maria, you're muted, by the way. I actually met Maria in LA like just a few months ago, and she works like 27 hours a day. So I could never do that. All right,
Really.
cool. Evan, I don't know how long you have, but before you leave or you have to go, we're gonna do a GMAT question, okay? So, Karishma,
Wonderful.
I feel like you have an unfair advantage in this game, but we're still gonna do it. So I'm just gonna share my screen. And by the way, I think BB was talking about like how he sent me the questions to use from Bunuel over email. I did get those questions, but Selby also got that email and was practicing some of those questions. I had to make
What?
sure.
Why are you lying, Shobik? No, I was not.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hi, I'm
So,
gonna.
wait, tell me one thing.
Yeah.
Will we get to know who Bunuel is today? We should get to know the secret, isn't it?
I think he had this thing that if we get to 1 million, then maybe. I don't really. So yeah. Anyway, all right.
Shovik, stop
Yeah.
screwing around with people. Brunel is an AI. We've established this repeatedly. We have the code to prove it.
Yeah.
Everyone stop asking to meet Brunel.
Yeah, but he was also there like 15 years ago, back when AI was like no.
So we know that it's a he, right? Not a she. It's a boys' club, is it?
Also,
I feel like
Shovik
I've
may be just
started to
applying
already make
improper.
mistakes here, so I'm gonna stop talking.
I was about to say, those
Alright,
are improper pronouns that he's using.
All right, let's go. This is a pretty easy question. I'm going to start the timer. And again, I'm not saying it's pretty easy. It's just the difficulty level. The GMAT Club tool is pretty cool. It kind of tells you, like the difficulty level, how many people have taken it. I'll pause. We'll come back at like the 1.5-minute mark.
So what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to like solve the question, give the answer, and then?
Yes. So
explain?
I'll ask. And Karishma, you are going to go last, of course.
Okay.
But yeah. Recommend not using a scratch pad, but Maria is solving this question so seriously. Maria, you're still muted.
Oh shoot, I'm so sorry. My kid had a question like this in his algebra homework like a few months ago, and I was like, oh God, how did we solve this? But Karishma, when you were talking about Brian, do you mean Brian Galvin?
Yes.
Oh my God, I love the well, now Varsity Tutors, but the Veritas Prep guys are some really good guys.
Yes.
I love Travis Morgan. Travis Morgan and Scott Schrum are delightful. Anyway.
So unfortunately, I didn't get to interact a whole lot with Travis, but my point of contact with was Brian mainly, and such a fun guy. I mean, it was amazing interacting with him. So he's from Detroit as well, and I was in Detroit in US. So he took my interview to get me on board in Veritas Prep. So, you know, he had come down for the interview, and supposedly we were having the interview, and I was laughing off my chair. I was just falling. I just couldn't help it. He's such a funny guy. Such a funny guy.
He's so that was what a
Yes.
great crew that was.
Absolutely, absolutely. I really enjoyed working with all of them. So, yeah.
I solved this correctly.
Yay.
Tell me, what's your answer? Actually,
It's
stop.
me.
Evan, what's your answer?
Oh, well, you know, so again, I'm on my phone. I was going to be on my computer. Computer wasn't working, which is why when I was first brought on, like 20 minutes ago, and I was
You're
like,
starting to sound like excuses.
long story short, I'm on my phone. The screen is like an inch wide here, so I can't even read the question. So I'm going with the audience on this one. Audience says E for Evan. I'm going to stick to that. I'm going E.
Selby, what is your answer?
It's E.
Okay, tell us why.
I can explain.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will tell you why. Okay.
Yay.
So there's this thing. So whenever there's like what do you call it when there's like power, right, on top of the number? That's what you call it, right?
Exponent?
22. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
exponent. So for 2, it would be the endings of the digits are like in series of 4. So it's 2, 4, 8, and 16. So 2, 4, 8, 6.
Yeah.
So if it's 2 to the power 22, then if you count it 2, 4, 8, 6, 2, 4, 8, 6, then you'd reach to the number 4
Right.
for the last digit of that. Similarly, for 3 to the power 15, it would be the ending of 7.
Okay.
5 to the power 16 would be 5, and 7 to the power 7. So multiply those ends of the digits, and you'd get 0.
That is interesting. I was, again, like, I haven't prepped for the GMAT in a long time. I saw 2 and I saw 5. Together they make a 10. So it's got to be a 0, right? Like,
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, there's that too. I completely forgot about that.
that is correct. Maria, did you get this one right?
I didn't do it.
No. All right. Okay.
There you go. Shovik, should we like put these links in the chat box so like for anyone who wants to like solve them, they can?
Sure.
Like, can you, like,
I
copy?
can do that. I'm gonna post a link to this question on the chat. I did get a new email from someone with some GMAT questions that Selby you haven't seen. So I'm gonna move to one of them.
Ooh.
Let's see. I'm gonna have to do this like screen sharing thing. Actually, you know what? Let's go to a verbal question. It's been a while. So I have a couple of them. So I have a CR question, I have a CR question, an SC question. What do you feel like doing? Maria, your pick.
I don't feel like doing any GMAT question. So I'm not the right person to ask. Sure, we'll do. I feel like so this would be fine. Let's do a sentence correction. Is that what this is?
Yeah, and it's about James Baldwin. Let's totally do that. Don't take reading comprehension. Yes, that we will try not to take a reading comprehension question. Karishma, I'm gonna ask you this one. So let's start this. Evan, try to not cop out of this one.
My screen is like this big. Where's my stupid hands? I'm sorry. I would need a magnifying glass to read this right now.
Yeah, sure. You'd have to zoom in a little bit.
I can. Yeah, I can't zoom in. I don't care. I'm here to make people laugh. I am a clown. That's what I'm best at. Soon it'll be making decisions on $1 million and $1 billion deals. But for the moment, I'm a clown.
All right. Sounds good.
And I probably do have to run after this question, so I don't get yelled at and walk in late.
Have fun at the networking event. My only advice for networking events is don't stand out for whatever reason. That's been typically my advice, but I'm sure you'll be fine. But all the best.
No, I appreciate that. We had our networking event last night as well. I just sat there and was collecting stuff like Yeti. So the president of Yeti is a Darden alumni.
Right.
So Yeti came on. They were handing out Yetis. I was like, okay, I'm clearly going to get one of those. Bear was there, so I got like
That's
the
great
aspirin
swag.
and stuff. Like, okay, there's the headache.
Grab that swag, baby. Even if you're not interested in the company
Oh.
at all, go for it. It's like
Of course.
time to recoup that tuition cost in Yetis.
That's what I'm thinking about telling my parents. I'm gonna go home in October because we have fall break, and I'm gonna be like, oh, here, Dad, I already have a Yeti. We have it for First Coffee. If anyone doesn't know about Darden's First Coffee, highly recommend you look into it if you want to apply. And I already have a Darden Yeti for that, so I'm like, oh, I've already got a Yeti, Dad. You can have this one. The plebeian non-branded Yetis are not for me anymore.
I can explain First Coffee if you need to run, Evan. I'll explain what that Darden.
No, I can say for a few more minutes. So First Coffee, while people are solving this question, at Darden is a very rigorous program academically. My advice would not be what Maria told Shovik, which was kind of ignore academics. You really can't at Darden because you have to participate so much. You have to be there every day. And it's very quick pace. So I'd highly recommend, if you're applying, be academically oriented and inclined. First Coffee, between your first class and your second class, is First Coffee. Basically, everyone socializes for a half hour and tries to, they provide free coffee. And the goal is to just re-energize yourself so you're not completely dead for the next 2 classes of the day. And this is assuming you've been casing most of the night. So it's a wonderful
in this beautiful rotunda. It's in this beautiful rotunda, right? The main Darden building is this colonial era Thomas Jefferson style building, and it's like this large circular space. So it really accommodates like all of the students and the professors at once coming to get coffee. I think it's a beautiful tradition. And by the way, and Evan, if Shovik had gone to a case-based school, I would not have given him the same advice. For the record.
Well, you went to HBS, so I would hope you would say that. And you're absolutely correct. It is a beautiful building. Charlottesville is absolutely incredible. I'll go on our Instagram when I get to the building in about 10 minutes, and I'll take a photo and post it so that way everyone here can sort of visualize what Saunders Hall is the official building title, what that looks like, and that rotunda that you beautifully described, Maria.
And Fernando, who took a video of Darden and his experience. I don't know if you saw that video, Evan, but he did a really good job. And he will be here. He will be here later today, I think.
Oh, well, to give Fernando my best, let him know that I am at the General Management Summit for the next 5 hours. So I would have loved to have been here for the entirety of this because, Selby, you are incredible. Maria, you are also incredible. I would love to spend more time with you, as well as our lovely representative from Varsity Tutors, as you are truly one of the foremost experts on the forum. Every time someone tags me, they tag you. I'm like, excellent, Karishma's got this. I don't have to answer. We're good.
Oh, that's so sweet to hear, Evan. Thank you so much. Yeah.
And Jovik, it was good to see you, man. We don't hang out enough. So for everyone who watches, like, why is this a social hour? With me, you get a social hour. You get the interaction. You get the face-to-face.
All right. Evan, good luck in the panel and the general management things. Keep us posted. Selby,
sure, guys. Best of luck with this video.
Why am I like being targeted?